Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Starladder Season 8, now on Day 10. We've got a long day of Starladder coming up for you guys today, and we're going to start things off with Aspera versus NEXT.kz. Now, we are a little bit flustered this morning. G-League ran a little bit late, and this match was actually sort of oddly scheduled. This is Aspera versus NEXT.kz, and it was a reschedule. I believe they drafted during the original scheduled matchup here, and then there was some sort of a connection issue, and they had to reschedule. So there was no draft. We didn't really miss it. It happened many days ago. So we're getting started on a very rocky start. Originally, they were saying that this match would be played in tandem with the others today because we have 7 matches, including this one coming up. And, well, they decided to do it first, starting right on time here at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was actually planning on getting started at 11 today, so my breakfast hour actually got skipped. Good thing I checked my Skype before I decided to head down to the kitchen and start cooking away. So I think Merlini following suit with me, assuming we were starting at 11, not 10 today, based on the last update we had before we logged off last night. That was the status quo, but alas, we are here with this one, and it would have been no big deal if G-League did run over, but it finished just in the nick of time to get into this match. Literally, as God said, okay, stream is off, you're good to go, this match was loading in. And of course, now we're stuck in a pause, but alas, things going to work out pretty timely for us on this fine morn. Now, one thing I should point out before we get too far into this match, Aspera going to have 3 stand-ins. Very unfortunate for them. Inquisitor and Sharfik, the only 2 of their actual roster here, going to be in this match. So, Merlini is going to be joining me for the latter portions of the cast today, and as you saw here, we'll cut to it very quickly. Our full screen here. A lot of great matches coming up today. Next will be Fnatic versus 4FC. Na'Vi versus Alliance, going to be our 1800 CET matchup. Of course, El Clasico, going to be very exciting. Fnatic versus Poseidon. Then we're going to have Fnatic versus Alliance. And then we'll have 2 matches to round out the day. So some very big games coming up here in Starladder today, and Merlini will be joining me. So with 7 games, gonna try to keep it nice and slow and steady in this fine morn. It is snowing like a winter wonderland outside here on the East Coast. You know what? I should really turn my webcam facing out the window so that in between games, it's like a live feed, kind of like a tournament, and you can see the snow coming down. Hence the Christmas music. Oh man, this morning put on that beautiful Christmas music. Is my mic really crackling? Am I getting some issues here? Let me see. I may need to. This is Aspera versus NEXT.kz, and it was getting a sample. Alright, looks like it may have fixed itself. The delay, there is a 2-minute delay on, we're still stuck in a pause. So, like I said, I really sort of panicked. Oh crap, we are going to be able to get into this game. So I just sort of turned on the stream and got everything rolling, and I hope it's all good. I don't know, it's kind of weird if there's clicking. If it doesn't fix itself up here in a minute or 2, I may need to reset. I'm getting started at 11 today, so my breakfast hour actually. So I'll try and keep a tab on that. Hopefully my mic isn't failing here, though it is the Christmas season. But I got my day started with some beautiful Christmas Pandora. We're going to be rocking out to Christmas music today. The winter wonderland that is the East Coast. It's got me in the mood, guys. Feeling about it. So, oh god, what a fuck! I'm gonna get first blooded here. I have a feeling that this was one of those remake kind of things, like the match already went through, and I believe Owatafaka conceded a first blood in the original matchup. I'm not sure if we cast it. I'm having trouble remembering what happened with this game and why it was rescheduled. Exactly what the deal is. Sounds fine now. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Sorry about that. It may have just been an early little bit of circuitry gone wrong there. So, yeah, sorry. I did kind of miss that first blow, but I have a feeling that was an intentional from the remake to keep things nice and steady. I'm actually going to lower my audio just a little bit. I think we're a little bit loud today. But, as always, keep me apprised, folks. I do have chat open. And, well, I'll do my best to accommodate everything you guys need. So, like I said, we're going to take it slow and steady here in Game 1. Going to try not to burn myself out because we have a lot of matches coming up. A lot of matches today, and a lot of Starladder action as well. So let's go ahead and introduce our rosters here, talk about our drafts a bit, because then we did miss the picking phase. On our Radiant side, we do have Team Aspera, unfortunately using 3 stand-ins today. Topor going to be on the Mirana down here in the bottom lane, going to be in a bit of a tri-lane here. Ink Visitor going to be on the Wind Ranger, supporting in the bottom. And their stand-in Lucky, going to be on the Venomancer, joining him here. In the mid lane, going to have Sharfik on the Tinker. And up in the top, going to be Tamash up on the Nature's Prophet. On our Dire side, we've got NEXT.kz here. Mantis going to be on the hard farming Weaver down here in the bottom. He'll be supported by Amazing on the Lich. In the mid lane, it is going to be Whatafaka on the Puck going up against the Tinker. And up in the top lane here, it is going to be Equal on that Elder Titan. And for now, he's going to be joined by Reeves on that support Alchemist, who's spending a fair bit of time in the jungle. So who got that first bit of bonus gold? It was the Wind Ranger who picked up the first blood.
Don't mind me.
Again, I think that was a relic from the original game. Now, this Tinker pick, I believe the draft is sort of slowly coming back to me here. I believe Tinker was a 5th pick. And kind of that oddball pick at that. Sharfik, a pretty powerful mid-hero, though. We've been continually surprised at how well he's been able to handle himself. Of course, Storm Spirit, kind of his signature hero. I don't think we've seen him play Tinker too much in competitive, but definitely a hero in his repertoire. I believe in pub games he is quite the Tinker player. Pub/scrim. Tinker always an interesting choice. Doing fairly well against the Puck here, sitting 10-0 against the 9-1 Whatafaka. Though, always a little bit scared to see Whatafaka on Puck. That does seem to be one of his signature heroes. Doesn't seem to be, it certainly is. One of his best heroes as well. I always hate it when we start a game where we miss the draft or we see the draft at another time, because so much of a game, you sort of like get your head in the game when you see how the draft unfolds and see how they picked what heroes and what order and what came about. It makes it a little bit harder to analyze when you don't have that draft before you. But alas, NEXT.kz doing pretty well with their 2-1-2 here. Weaver struggling in the farm a bit. He is 4-2, getting kind of zoned out here. Uh-oh, might be able to grab a kill here on the Veno. Nope, not going to commit to it. Double damage Lich. Thought he may want to get a bit more aggressive, but perhaps not. And this is one of the things about Lich. A very powerful hero, and as Merlini has pointed out, maybe a little bit overvalued right now. Certainly a powerful pick, but all he does is that kind of slow deny of experience. He's not giving Weaver much breathing room here in this lane. Trying to slow down the farm of that Mirana, sitting only 9-5. Semi-effective with that sacrifice, but still Mantis struggling a bit to start things off. With a triple support tri-lane down here. Not surprised to see Weaver struggling just a little bit. Kind of a wash here in the mid lane between Puck and the Tinker. Everybody just farming away. Even up here in the top, Nature's Prophet feeling pretty safe against the Elder Titan. As he well should, unless he makes really a fatal misstep or Reeves does something really sneaky. He should be in pretty good shape up here. Just keep farming away. Sitting 6-4 against the 19-10 Elder Titan, so equal. You know, using that high base damage there, of course, maybe not the high base damage, but what you get from that Astral Spirit makes less hitting so easy.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Reeves on the support Alchemist, trying to get a little sneaky here, perhaps. Looking for that 4-minute rune. He is going to fish his wish, going to grab this invisibility. May just keep it safe if Whatafaka can find his way up there, though he does have full health, full bottle. Reeves just going to grab it. And will deny the Tinker here. So as always with Tinker, it's all about those BOTs. How fast can Sharfik get those boots of travel up? I was just tweeting this morning about Tinker Midas. Someone was asking about why would one ever get a Midas on Tinker? Because oh boy can he get scary if farm allows. And right now leading the way on last hit, Sharfik really getting the momentum that he needs. Holding steady against Puck. Hard for either one of them to secure a kill. If he steps too far forward, perhaps when Puck hits 6, they can make something happen. And look at this timing here. One more creep, Puck gonna have the Dream Coil. Reeves gonna come in. Very sneaky play right here. Still no Dream Coil, but they're not gonna need it. And oh, wow, maybe they did need it. Reeves actually gonna fall. That's gonna make it a 1-for-1. Now Whatafaka gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Nice phase shift bottle sip. He's gonna survive the wrath of the Nature's Prophet. He'll hit 6 now. There's the Dream Coil. Illusory Orb, not going to have enough for the Rift. Oh, actually he does. That's a kill right there. Very nicely done by Whatafaka. And that's exactly what I thought they were going to do if he waited till 6. Grab that Dream Coil and make it an easy kill instead of a 2-for-1. But down in the bottom lane here, Mantis in a little bit of trouble perhaps. He does work pretty well against that Venomancer, but not going to be enough. Down he goes. Wind Ranger going to be the one to finish him off. Very nicely played by Aspera. Generally speaking, Weaver is one that lanes well against Venomancer. The slow from the Gale and Poison Sting completely negated when in Shikuchi. But it doesn't expire, as we saw he popped out of Shikuchi. Still slowed by the Gale. Sets up for an easy kill. So, Aspera going to pull ahead here by 1 hero kill. A pretty even exchange here in terms of gold, but if only that first blood hadn't come out, things would be looking a little bit better for NEXT.kz. Still, Puck getting a little bit of momentum here. Being able to survive that assault, really powerful for him. 2-1-0, of course, that first death was the first blood that he was forced to sacrifice. Compliments of the remake.
One of me ain't enough.
A noble effort from that Nature's Prophet, but underestimating the explosive power of a level 6 Puck, perhaps. And now Tamash going to be in a bit of trouble. Charging up that concoction. Going to get a nice stun. Acid Spray doing a little bit of damage here, but the Earth Splitter going to come out. That'll be a dead Nature's Prophet. Trying to port out, but not going to be able to make it. Down he goes. That's going to make it 4-2 here. Now Mantis going to get shackled again. Should be an easy Gale. Arrow going to come. Arrow going to be off the mark. Gale doesn't fly. And Weaver going to be able to walk away. Surprised Lucky didn't throw a Gale right there. Perhaps hoping that Arrow would connect and that would be enough for the kill and he could save the mana. And even if he Galed, not sure if they would have been able to secure the kill. It's all about predicting where that Shikuchi is going to be. And if you can land on top of him when he pops out, you can still set up that kill. A noble effort. Unfortunately, Marana just a little bit too far. Arrow not going to make it in time. So, a bit of a missed effort. Sorry, I said 4-2. That's going to make it 3-3. My mistake. I still can't get over that first blood. In my mind, that kill doesn't really count. My numbers were a bit off. I apologize. Again, glancing at the gold graph here. NEXT.kz starting to take over a little bit. Really, the biggest outlier is this top lane. Equal just soaking up the farm. 41-25. Nature's Prophet only 10-4. It's really the big outlier in farm. 1.2k on the Nature's Prophet. 3k on this Elder Titan already. Weaver and Marana, relatively even. Marana slightly ahead, compliments of Weaver's death, but nothing too crazy here. Also, Lich helping to deny a little bit of that experience, but still. Marana coming out ahead. One thing the Lich has been doing really well, though, is stacking the Ancients. He's got a huge stack right here. It's at least 1, 2, 3 Golems, 1 Lizard, 1 Dragon, 5 stack. Reeve's going to get a nice gold pick-me-up here. Going to further that NEXT.kz lead. Level 3 Acid Spray here at level 5. Going to make this real easy. Wow, good bit of farm coming their way. And this support Alchemist now going to be able to transition a little bit into kind of that semi-carry. Even though he hasn't been laning, this is a crafty little strategy from NEXT.kz. I like this. Something a lot of teams don't do is stack these Ancients. Of course, you do need a roster. You need someone that can clear the Ancients effectively. A Gyrocopter, Alchemist, Tinker. Someone with a good bit of AoE damage. Nice nonetheless. Going to further that lead. Look at that gold graph just jumping forward. That's all Ancients right there. The power of stacking those Ancients from the first minute. I was a little bit nervous at first, thinking, you know, stacking those Ancients with a Tinker on the field could be a bit of a double-edged sword if Sharfig catches wind. Could go over and deny it, but they're going to clear it before Tinker gets any mobility here. Still working on those BOTs. Reasonably good timing here. Any kind of a pre-10 minutes. That's a pretty good benchmark for the BOTs on Tinker. If you can snag him before that 10-minute mark, you're in pretty good shape. And he's well on his way for that. Looks like he is going to be able to grab it right now following that March Machines. Yep, there it is. And that's when Tinker really starts to take off. Those BOTs, it's pretty nasty how quickly he can hop around the map. Of course, Rearm does reset that BOT cooldown. And when I was tweeting this morning talking about Tinker Midas, the cause for concern was, hey man, Rearm does not reset the Midas cooldown. Could you imagine how ridiculous that would be? That would be... I don't even have an analogy for the level of ridiculousness. He would just... He would just non-stop farm. There would be no ending to Tinker's farm. It would be absolutely ridiculous. Down to the bottom, Marana going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Going to stay toe-to-toe with the Weaver. Shackle going to come. Weaver going to be able to get a nice time lapse. Full health. And now, Ink Visitor maybe in a little bit of trouble. Level 5, no Wind Run. Very greedy build here from Ink Visitor. Wind Runner does fare pretty nicely against those physical heroes because of that Wind Run ability with the Weaver in lane. So far, working for Ink Visitor. I think he's yet to concede a death. Yeah, he's 2-0. Still. A little bit greedy there from the Windrunner. Whatafaka doing pretty well in the mid lane.
I sprouted
Again, between Puck and Tinker. Hard for either to secure a kill without help. And Puck going to be able to grab himself a nice timed blink dagger here. Had it before the 10-minute mark and to be able to bring it in the courier. It's a nice big item pick up as well. And what a fucker, one of those players that really just starts to take off once he gets that big core item. Now up here in the top lane, Sharfa going to be in some trouble. That Marching Machine going to come out, but they may have enough damage to finish him off. Earth Splitter going to connect. Furion going to throw the ult, trying to finish off the Alchemist. Moonlight Shadow comes, equal with no detection, going to be forced to retreat. Reeves does survive. And now they may try to make it happen here. On to Tomash. Nice Astral Spirit. We did miss a kill down in the bottom lane, but they are going to continue to pursue. Sharfik going to come back. That's the power of those BOTs. Going to try and finish off Equal here. Trying to rearm, looking for a heat-seeking missile. There it is. Down he goes. Elder Titan falls. Puck going to make his way up, though. That'll be the end of the Nature's Prophet. Sharfik may be in some trouble. Nope, Puck already going to burn it. That'll be the end of it. Now, the kill down in the bottom lane. What did we miss? It wasn't Mirana picking up a kill on the Weaver. My apologies, folks. I'm not Korean, only one camera feed at a time here. But alas, Weaver does fall once again. Now, Aspera holding on to a hero kill lead, but NEXT.kz still with this nice gold lead here. Nice experience lead as well. Those Sharfix starting to pick up a fair bit of momentum. Again, once you grab those BOTs, that's when things really start to get scary. I think the biggest problem for Aspera, though, is just getting out carried here. That Mirana going to have to go hard carry. Tinker can play a bit of a carry role, but I worry about the farm of this Alchemist here. He does have 1 point in Grievel's Greed to go for that value point. 4 in the Acid Spray, not surprised to see that. And he did go for an early Midas. So something about a 6-7 minute Midas for Alchemist, not too bad considering he's not playing that farming role. And on the net worth chart, he's still doing alright. Actually, number 3, he's doing more than alright. It's more than you can hope for an Alchemist. Roaming about the jungle, clearing out stacks, and you've still got these lanes open. Very efficient farming here from NEXT.kz. Not surprised to see him ahead. Looks like they have kind of given up on stacking Ancients, though. Going to have one Golem just sitting at half health here. As we do move into another pause. I remember now. I got an update on Facebook. This was the match where they were having lag issues in the club. This was the game that Aspera did actually play out. I remember now. Oh, yes, yes, yes. This was Aspera versus NEXT.kz, and Aspera won the original matchup. NEXT.kz had terrible lag issues the entire time, and after the match was over, Aspera did agree to a replay, despite actually winning the match. I remember everything now. I remember laughing about the club with Merlini. This is NEXT.kz. We're having trouble in the club. I remember everything now. So this game was actually played out, and they did mimic the first blood. That was what happened with the Puck there. Just to reiterate once again. How's this Mirana doing? Not going to go for the Hand of Midas build, which is a little bit interesting here. He's going to grab a Bracer, probably going to move into the drums. Now, this is a pretty well-rounded build, but I'm a little bit nervous for the carry power of our Radiant side. Tinker, one of the things about Tinker that's kind of interesting is he does play that carry role if he gets enough farm, kind of like that Invoker, but what makes him so powerful is that March of the Machines. Constantly pressuring lanes, but most importantly, so hard to push into. One of the best turtlers in the game. So hard to breach into those tier 3s. We've seen teams with 20, 25k gold advantages that still just can't tango inside these March Machines. So that may be Aspera's saving grace here. Eventually, Alchemist, though, is going to be the hard carry in this match, and he is going to take over. We're going to have Midas gaming here, and this is what makes me nervous. We see NEXT.kz, they've got one Midas already. Weaver working towards his, and he desperately needs it. Mantis is just not off to a great start here. He's already conceded a couple of deaths, unfortunately. He is going to be 0-2-0. Not so bad in the CS score. Still actually dead even with the Mirana, 44-9. But Mirana, a nice 700 up on him on the net worth chart. Plenty of room for this Weaver to recover, though. And he is going to play definitely that hard carry route. So Mirana not going for an early Midas here. It could still be in the cards for Tapor. It is only the 12-minute mark, but makes me nervous with this late Midas. Alchemist already ahead of him. And again, opening all that room in the other lanes.
Is under attack.
Furion will have to play a bit of a carry role in this game as well. He is going to be working towards a Hand of Midas, but it will take a little bit for him to come online here. Perhaps Aspera can take a nice mid-game advantage by knocking down some of these towers. We see a lot of pressure coming the way of this tier 1 in the mid.
Middle tower is under attack.
But Glyph is going to be used, and they will back out here. Double damage on the Nature's Prophet. Nope, not going to push, just going to go back to farming. So here we go. Ancient's going to continue to get stacked again. Still no ward coverage from Aspera. And they are not stacking their own. That's going to be another one of the big outliers in this match. When you have a Tinker, really want to stack those Ancients. We'll see if Aspera opt for that, but still going to hinder their farm a bit here. Mirana, going to grab that drum recipe. So not going to be getting the Midas.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Equal already has his drums. Now going to grab some dust. Not going to make that same mistake again now that Moonlight Shadow is a reality. One of those abilities, you never know. Some Miranas don't go for the Moonlight Shadow at level 6. But we've been seeing it kind of an increasing frequency. As we saw, it did save the life of the Tinker earlier, so well worth that value point. Moonlight Shadow going to be used again here. Looks like they may converge on Equal. He did walk past this ward right here. And they are going to converge on him. There it is. He's hiding in the trees. Thinks he's safe. March Machines comes out. Not even going to use the Gale. That'll be a shackle. Easy kill here. Benno just going to save the mana. Nicely done. All compliments to this ward right here. Arrow going to fly. Does connect with the puck. Whoa, what a nice arrow from Tapor. Now what a fucker. He's going to be dead. Shackle going to come. Going to be able to phase shift orb. Nope, not going to hop to it. We'll do a good bit of damage to that Mirana. But a nice ulti from Nature's Prophet going to finish him off. Very nicely done by Aspera right there. Again, this ward worth its weight in gold right now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Following those kills, Aspera now going to pick up a bit of momentum. They will go to the mid. March Machine's going to come out this tier 1 tower. I think going to be slated to fall here. Not much NEXT.kz can do and try and defend it. Can just hope for a deny. Not going to get it.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Radiant going to be the one to grab that last hit. No, first tower of the match does go the way of Aspera, and they should start to pick up a little bit of a gold boost from that. NEXT.kz still finding better farm about the map despite trailing by now 3 kills. Feels one-sided in terms of hero kill count, but still a much more efficient bit of farm here for NEXT.kz. There you go. That Golgarath going to update. And going to give Aspera a nice little swing. Midas count now, 2-1. Weaver going to be able to finish his up. Tinker looks like he is working towards a mech. Probably an indication that Aspera going to want to group up and put on a lot of mid-game pressure here. That is going to be their timing window. Again, that carry advantage in the super late game will most likely go the way of NEXT.kz, all things equal. Alchemist is going to go ahead and grab himself a Shadow Amulet. That Shadow Blade will be coming out. So he obviously does want to be a bit aggressive here, have a presence in the mid-game. Have a bit more mobility. But the mech versus no mech advantage definitely going to come into play in these team fights. Looks like Equal is working his way towards one. He does have a headdress already. Doubtful it's going to be an early pipe, but you never know. Pipe is underrated, as we talked about yesterday, and great against Venomancer as well. But there it is. That's the Shadow Blade in the inventory of the Alchemist, so he's one step closer to being a little bit more scary. Still just farming away now. 3 points in that Grievel's Greed, so going past the value point. Not going to level up the Concoction. Again, further recognizing here that NEXT.kz need to take this carry advantage. And it's great for them that they have this little bit of a gold lead here to start things off. The longer they can delay that mid-game presence from Aspera, the better. Though, as we see on the net worth chart, Tinker's starting to take off, and this is where he starts to shine. Those early BOTs, really more valuable than Midas on Tinker. One of those heroes, but here we go. Moonlight Shadow. They're going to try to converge in the bottom lane. What a fucker, he's got no clue. Oh man, maybe he's a little bit suspicious. Not going to latch the shackle, but it doesn't matter. Not going to be able to phase shift. Wow, beautifully done by Aspera. They've used this Moonlight Shadow so well in this match. And it's kind of amazing. Aspera right now playing with 3 stand-ins. You can hardly even tell. Really a lot of good team cohesion here. There's the mech. Going to be complete on Tinker. March the Machines. Oh, what a big concoction. Oh, that'll be the end of the Nature's Prophet. Earth Splitter comes out. May be able to finish off the Tinker here, but nope. Gale going to be off the mark. Down goes the Alchemist. Weaver in the back line going to be able to finish off the Mirana. That's going to make it a 2 for 2, including the puck at least. Dust going to fly, not going to connect with the Weaver. Great hold, but wow, what a concoction right there. The saving grace for our dire side. They do hold the tower, though, which is what's important here. A 2-for-2 exchange, including the puck. Going to be great news, but here we go. Puck going to be back. That's the Dream Coil, only going to connect with Ink Visitor. Does throw the orb. Going to be forced to blink forward. What a fucker. Going to whiff the waning rift right there. Oh, no. Probably could have been a kill on that Wind Ranger. Now what a fucker in big trouble. The Marching Machine just too much for him. Down he goes. Not going to be able to hop to the orb. On the backside as well, while Puck was getting picked off. Elder Titan going to fall. NEXT.kz lacking the teamwork right now. I'm not sure what a fucker was thinking right there. Perhaps he was thinking, I have enough burst damage to finish off that Wind Ranger, but as soon as it was clear Ink Visitor was getting out, he needed to head for the hills. It seems NEXT.kz may be underestimating the power of Tinker's March of the Machine. You really just can't fight in it. Kind of comparable to that Death Prophet Exorcism. Once it's up, you just gotta run. You can't take it. Even in the late game, even with a huge gold lead, level advantage, and everything else under the sun, you just can't do it. It's too much constant damage. That's now going to be 6-11 here. Gold graph completely zeroed out. Experience graph starting to move the way of Aspera. Still not quite there, but slowly but surely. Looks like Wind Ranger going to be going for a very early Orchid. I like this build. Usually Force Staff is the item of choice on Wind Ranger. Usually she's the mech carrier. But here with that Tinker farming away, picking up the mech. Going to have a little bit of breathing room here. Going to have the luxury to go a much more aggressive build. That crowd control going to be great. Good item against Weaver. Also not so bad against Puck either. Manta, of course, the big counter to Orchid. Manta not going to be an item NEXT.kz members are going to want to pick up here, so a great item choice. I like it from Aspera. Nature's Prophet, looking like he's going to grab that Necro book. Does have the first 2 core pieces. But still, the big outlier here, NEXT.kz continuing to manage their resources a bit more effectively. Another big stack here, at least a 1, 2, 3. Looks like a 4 stack. 2 golems, 1 lizard, 1 dragon. Still no stacking coming about from Aspera whatsoever. I want to say they don't quite need it. Sharfik's still #1 on the net worth chart by a good margin here. He's just continuing to be all over the place. Now got a blink down. They are going to continue to pressure this tower. Tinker actually going to get out of there. Just going to throw the Marching Machine, go back and regenerate, do it again. So much power on this Tinker. And also with the Nature's Prophet, a lot of split push here from Aspera. So even though they will get out carried, they've got this unbelievable mid-game presence. And all in all, NEXT.kz have really been holding fairly well in the grand scheme of things. Holding on to that experience advantage, gold graph relatively zeroed out. This is really when Aspera is going to start to peak here, about that 20-minute mark. Kind of well into the mid-game. And NEXT.kz are holding their own. Reeves still continuing to do pretty well in terms of farm. Does have that Shadow Blade, as we mentioned. Another 2.5k in the bank. We'll see where he goes from here. I think some stats going to be important for him, though. Not a huge amount of burst damage for Aspera, but needs that HP buffer, to borrow a term from Merlini. Chemical Rage is great, but if you don't have the hit points to survive the damage, a little bit useless. We saw yesterday what happens when an Alchemist just goes for an all-armor damage style build, Assault Cuirass. Items such as that without any of those stats, no drums. Really need those stats. Sub 1,000 hit points is just a little bit rough. Gonna be just break that 1,000 mark here, as he does hit level 13. But Mantis is making pretty solid recovery though. He is trying to grab that Lincoln's. Does have the Perseverance, pretty close to that ultimate orb. So he's getting closer, getting better. I think Aspera would be wise to get a little bit aggressive here. They're still within that time frame to farm up those core items before they want to start getting really aggressive and knocking down those tier 2 towers. But I think that timing is coming soon here. The more pressure they put on, the better. The more room they give NEXT.kz, the harder it's going to be. Again, Mirana going for a very mid-game oriented build here. Hard carry Mirana in a game such as this, I think, needs a Midas. Instead, he is going to go for the Basilius drums into Yasha. Again, a great mid-game build. Kind of where Mirana shines a little bit. An interesting build as well. 4 points in leap. Only 2 in the Sacred Arrow. Still a very bursty hero here in the mid-game. Veno as well. Gonna start to shine, almost level 11. Does have that Force Staff already. Like the power treads here. A little bit of HP buffer as well. Really what Aspera have been doing well, though, is shutting down this Puck. Whatafaka is just one of those guys that if he gets an early blink, more often than not, that translates into him just snowballing out of control. Once he grabs that level or 2 advantage, he moves around the map. If he can get a level 2 Dream Coil ahead of the curve, Oh boy, does he get dirty, but they've done a great job shutting him down, staggering those crowd controls. And again, that ward they had on the high ground here, just so valuable in shutting down his momentum. But Weaver now just about to have his Lincolns. These items are starting to come out. Reeves, looks like he's just going to be working towards a BKB. Nice item choice here, makes a lot of sense against all that magic damage coming out. Much of the machines, of course, magical damage. Just double checking. For some reason in my head, I thought March was one of those composite damage abilities. But nope, not going to be the case. Again, guys, solo casting game 1 here. We were planning on starting at 11 today. This match was kind of hanging in limbo, and they did opt to do it first thing before the other matches get underway. Merlini should be joining me at the regular time here after this match is complete. But once again, I am Zyori, solo casting game number 1. We've got 7 matches of Starladder Season 8 coming up today, and doing my best to keep it slow and steady. Save that energy so we're not totally burned out for the rest of the day. Lichy here, going to grab himself an urn. Going to be able to finish that up. Aspera were picking up so much momentum here, and now they're just playing the game that NEXT.kz are looking for. This is exactly what NEXT.kz want. This kind of static farm fest. They're not even forced to defend their towers right now, though. Moonlight Shadow is going to come out. Looks like they're considering an engagement onto the Elder Titan, but not going to find it. Starting to get a little bit nervous for Aspera. Again, they have this timing window. They're bumping up into that time where they need to make something happen. Necro Book level 1. Necro Book now level 2, going to be on the Nature's Prophet once the courier delivers it. Yep, there it is. So again, farming up those core items is just fine as long as you make it happen, but the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Scarier
attack.
This Alchemist is going to become.
Dire's structures are fortified.
NEXT.kz, we will pressure this bottom tier 2 here. On the Hellborn, or geez, I was going to say Hellborn, on the Dire side of the map. I don't know where that came from. I haven't made that mistake in a while. NEXT.kz just going to try and do a tower exchange here. Not even going to try to defend, but they're not going to be able to win the race. Glyph's going to come out. They're going to be forced to back up as the March of the Machines come. That is the BKB on Reeves, though. That will make this next fight a bit easier. Up in the top, we were trying to do something about the Nature's Prophet. Not going to be able to make it happen, though.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, Radiant's courier going to get picked off here. Nice little gold boost for our Dire side. Mantis going to head for the hills. Puck with an interesting build here. Going to go for the Yule's Scepter following the Blink. I like it. Not an item we see enough of for sure. Going to be great against that March of the Machines, the burst damage that Tinker can put out. Going to give him just a lot of utility in general. I love the movement speed, though. Makes Puck such a speedy little devil here. This invisibility rune on, looking for an opportunity. Not sure if he wants to burn a Dream Coil for a solo kill on the Nature's Prophet, but may be able to make it happen. Necro Book on cooldown. Nope, Puck just going to head for the hills. Is going to use the Blink, that'll cancel the Invis. And Ink Visitor, he's going to bump into the Weaver. Weaver now level 16. Wow, that experience just exploding for the bug. Part of the power of that early hand of Midas, folks. Again, look at that gold graph. Spiking up to Aspera. They're looking for Sharfik. They know he's around. Moonlight Shadow comes out, though, and they are going to back it up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, arrow going to fly. It is going to connect with Equal. Long-range arrow, though. Are they going to have the follow-up? They will. Equal in big trouble. Puck going to come in. Mech going to be used. There's the Chain Frost. Dream Coil. Chain Frost going to take a couple of nice bounces. Marana nowhere to go. Is going to fall. Elder Titan, though, not going to be able to make it out. The Sprout does trap him in kind of an awkward spot. And that is going to be a 1-for-1. Shackle comes. Doesn't connect. Reeve's going to be able to Shadow Blade back. No detection at present. Well, they do have some detection, pardon me. They've got the Necronomicon Warrior. No dust, though. Couple of sentries down as well. They're going to try and pursue. Uh-oh. Reeve's going to fall here, I think. Those heat-seeking missiles. Oh, man. Nice Shackle going to latch as well. That's going to make it a 2-for-1. Aspera going to find a positive exchange. Still not too bad, though.
Warriors of the wood.
Mantis going to try to go on Sharfik, but not going to have the damage. Sharfik is a tanky beast right now, working on that sheepstick, no doubt. Does have the ultimate orb. 1,300 hit points. Weaver still without any hard-hitting items. He's only got the Lincolns. Probably going to be working on a Desolator, and boy, do they need it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Again, glancing at this graph, the fact that it's sort of a wash here in the mid game is absolutely a victory for NEXT.kz. Hate to keep coming back to it, but that carry advantage is a very serious reality that Aspera are going to have to deal with here. That kill on Alchemist to follow up that fight, very, very valuable, but they need to do some crippling damage here. They are going to continue to try and knock down these tier 2 towers, exactly what needs to be done. Recognizing NEXT.kz don't have the best anti-push, but not the worst either. Wadafaka gonna get a bit too aggressive here. Not sure what he was thinking about that one. Gonna blink forward right into an arrow. Astral Spirit gonna come out. Echo Stomp as well. No follow-up gonna be there. Mech gonna get used, and they're just gonna be able to reinitiate here. This tier 2 in the mid does fall. Was it denied? No. Wadafaka not having a great game here on this puck. Sitting 3-5-1. Really a characteristic of that puck player. Really one of his signature heroes. He's just been getting hyper aggressive. That's really the second time he's blinked forward and just been in no man's land. Not having the support. Can't be that aggressive. Roche going to be under heavy assault here. Aspera do move into the pit. Gets scouted out, and they are going to back out. They do burn the Moonlight Shadow as well. Perhaps hoping NEXT.kz will fall for the bait. Puck is going to be popping up here, but no access points as the towers have fallen. Spirit is going to scout it out. Vision on the side of the Dire. They see exactly what's happening. Reeves going to come in. That'll be the end of the Veno. But it very well may cost Reeves his life. Earth Splitter going to come. Going to buy Reeves a little bit of time here. He's going to pop the BKB and head for the hills. Rest of the team coming in. Mantis going to do a good bit of damage. Nature's Prophet falls. It looks like NEXT.kz going to be able to take a victory here. Roche very low. It is a 5v3 on the field, and I think they're going to be forced to concede it. Arrow going to fly, will connect with Reeves. But Roshan falls, Aegis going to go to the puck. Not going to be enough to save Amazing, but still a very worthy exchange. Ink Visitor very well going to fall right here as well. Oh, nice Dream Coil coming out from Wadafaka. Taking a lot of damage from the Tinker. He's going to stand his ground. Orchid going to come out. That'll be the end of the Wind Ranger. They're going to continue to pursue here. Sharfit going to be in big trouble. He's low on mana, nowhere to go. Mantis is going to be able to track him down, as will the puck. He's a speedy devil, but not that speedy. Or is he? Is this going to be the Great Escape coming out? They're trying to deny it here. Puck coming in with a Waning Rift. That'll be the end of the Tinker. Puck needs to be a little careful here. He's going to stand his ground. Is going to be able to survive. Oh, God, it's going to be a clean sweep. Not what Aspera was looking for. They need the deny on the Elder Titan. The deny? Is it coming? Oh, down to about 4 hit points or so. Talk about a close call. Well, this is bad news bears for Aspera, folks. That was not the time for them to concede a 5-for-0 exchange, or a 5-for-1 exchange, pardon me. A noble effort to try to move into the Roshan pit, but that Moonlight Shadow, a bit of a misstep. Seemed they really, really hesitated. And it did cost them Roshan, and now they're going to lose a lot of that momentum they picked up. Look at that gold swing right there. 5,000 swing now in favor of NEXT.kz. Experience lead, 14,000. And that's where things are going to get scary here. Look at that level chart. Wow. Nature's Prophet level 15. He's the only one up in the pack. Some of that going the way of Lich. He has denied a little bit of experience, but it's more that Handamitis gaming. 2-0. A lot of it from the Ancients as well. Still Reeves continuing to manage the Ancients. Still an Ancient Granite Golem here for Aspera. That really is the big outlier. That net worth chart now, Weaver and Alchemist topping the charts. They're going to steal a lot of that momentum from the Tinker. Hope is not lost, though. Tinker very close to that Sheepstick, is going to be able to grab it pretty quickly here. And of course, with Tinker, he can rearm that Sheepstick, so he can essentially perma-sheep someone, as long as that mana allows for it. One of the things that allows Tinker to transition into such a great carry. One of the reasons Dagon is also a great item pickup on Tinker, is you can rearm and just continue to Dagon as long as that mana pool allows, but that's going to be an easy kill. Mirana just going to get obliterated right there. Nice Force Staff initiation from the Lich onto the invisible Alchemist. Just makes for such an easy kill. And this is where Alchemist really starts to pull ahead in terms of carry. Just look at those inventories. Aspera seemingly trying to commit to this mid-game victory here. And Hold That Thought is in the mid. Puck gonna try to engage on Ink Visitor. He's gonna get shackled. Puck gonna be in a little bit of trouble here. We'll be able to get the Yules off. Hopefully gonna be able to phase shift Blink. Yep, one of the reasons that item is so good on Puck. Does reset that Blink cooldown, or work towards it at least if you can phase shift right out of it. So what a fucker. Gonna survive with his life, but just barely at that. Close call indeed. Here we go. They're gonna make it happen again. Reeves gonna charge up the concoction. Force staff forward. He's going for it. Ink Visitor gonna be the one caught. Courier in the mix. Courier gonna survive as it does head for the hills. Venno gonna get obliterated. Does get the Poison Nova off though. Tier 1 tower in the mid falls. Mirana's Moonlight Shadow. Where's the detection? Arrow. Gonna connect with Mantis. Follow-up won't be there though. It's gonna make it 15 to 15. I think it's looking very dark for Aspera at this point. They really needed to do crippling damage in this mid-game, and now the carry advantage really taken over. Desolator out on the Weaver. Gonna have himself a BKB momentarily as well. And once those BKBs are out, those carries are starting to hit hard. When you go this Necronomicon build, level 3 on Nature's Prophet, I think level 2 on the Wind Ranger, nope, only level 1. We see Venomancer working towards his Necro book, still unable to grab that recipe. You've got to do crippling damage pre-30 minutes. That's a really good benchmark for this Necronomicon style with all this heavy global push. They had the early momentum and they just slowed it down way, way too much. Gave NEXT.kz so much breathing room. Have yet to even contest this ancient stacking and farming. And Reeves is just going to keep it up. He's up to no good here. And he will stack it again.
Tower is under attack.
Some scary items coming out here for Weaver. That's a BKB and a Desolator in one delivery. Mantis, for lack of a better vernacular, going from bitch to bull in one delivery right there.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So things are going to slow down. NEXT.kz going to be happy to play this sit back and farm game. It's worked well for him so far. Not surprised to see him well, feeling pretty comfortable here. They're going to let Aspera be the ones that have to push up here, recognizing that sitting back and farming will win them this game, and letting Aspera push and they defend will win them this game as well. Depending on how Aspera want to play this, they could drag this game out quite a bit. Again, one of the great things about Tinker, that hurdling ability. Will still be very difficult for NEXT.kz to break the base if they do want to push up. So you're going to be stuck in another pause here. Not sure what the issue is. Looks like Nature's Prophet going to be working towards a sheep stick as well. Sort of, it seems like a lack of cohesive strategy for Aspera. At first they were hyper aggressive, then they went back into farming, and now they're trying to go back into pushing, and now they're trying to sort of transition out of this Necronomicon style by grabbing some of those crowd control items. They have a sheep stick on the Tinker already. Gonna be grabbing one on the Nature's Prophet. Just sort of a strange build. I think if they had chosen one or the other, go for that farming, grab some more Midas, and go for that crowd control style, and try and take NEXT.kz into the late game, they certainly could have done it. Still would have had the problem with carry advantage, but it would have been possible with enough crowd control. Especially once those BKBs lower in duration. A lot of opportunity. It is important to note the 3 stand-ins, though, of Aspera. Absolutely. They are playing pretty well, though. Considering 3 stand-ins, their teamwork has been pretty solid. They've had some pretty well-executed kills. Again, sub 15 minutes, they had a lot of really great Moonlight Shadow initiations. That did seem to catch NEXT.kz off guard a bit. This Alchemist is still very, very scary here. He does have 3,500 gold in the bank. Not sure what he's going to grab next. May want to go for the Basher. Just give himself an Abyssal Blade for that little bit of extra lockdown. No BKBs on Aspera, so not going to be a necessity, but Basher, a great item. All around on the Alchemist.
I'm sensing a pattern.
Mirana going to get caught in the jungle here. Look at this aggressive warding from NEXT.kz. Right in the heart of the jungle, right in the entryway. If we take a look at their vision. Great map control, and it is going to get him a kill there on the Mirana. She's stuck solo. Up in the top lane here, looks like Tamash going to be in some trouble. Sheep going to come out onto Reeves. Looks like we may have an engaged. Chain Frost going to fall, as will the Earth Splitter. A lot of ultis burned to finish off the poor Nature's Prophet. And they've got Sharfix setting their sights. Looks like they do want to pursue, but burning all that. Not going to be too easy for him. Reeves going to charge up the concoction. That's the end of the Wind Ranger as Weaver comes around the backside.
is under attack.
Down she goes. That'll be a 3-0. They lose the top tier
tower
1.
has fallen.
Things continuing to look grim here. Now that gold graph getting very scary. Puck gonna grab himself a sheep stick as well. They're gonna press forward here. And uh-oh, Mantis gonna bump into Lucky. This could end up being an easy kill. Look how fast that Veno gets him melted. Mantis committing here. He is gonna time lapse back, trying to finish off that kill. Not gonna find it. Puck? Maybe? Nope. But now that tower count going to be leveled out. Only one outer tower remaining for Aspera. It is going to be this tier 2 in the mid. And that is going to level out the tower count. Not going to be able to defend it. Wind Ranger and Nature's Prophet still down. It's looking very grim for Aspera. Probably just a few moments from GG.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Silence.
Alchemist, though, not going to go for that build that I was talking about. Will grab a heart. I do like it here. As I mentioned, one of the problems with Alchemist is people are tempted to go for these very non-stat-based builds, but now he is going to be that tanky force. And I think they're going to struggle to take down this Alchemist. Nice choice here. He can be in the front lines. I like it. Weaver going to follow suit here, as will the Elder Titan, it seems. Wow, 3 Reavers come out, and they will be upgraded into hearts, no doubt here. One of the great ways to deal with Tinker's March of the Machines, just get a larger hit point pool. It still hurts, but does negate some of its effectiveness.
Illusion.
So NEXT.kz still taking their time here, continuing to be cautious. Again, the onus is on Aspera to try to make something happen. The easy part is done now for NEXT.kz. They've held through the mid game. Or pardon me, the hard part is kind of over here. I don't know why I said easy. Still going to be hard for him to break into that high ground, though. I guess the outer towers are the easy part. These tier 3s still difficult. Hard to take a team fight in this tiny little area with a low ground disadvantage and the Tinker spamming on top of you. But this build with the massive amounts of heart going to help quite a bit. Weaver 1 tanky presence now with almost 3k HP. Alchemist as well, 2.6k. And even the Elder Titan with just the Reaver, as well as that mech. He does have the Vitality boost, which is about 2.5k as well. Some huge hit point pools here for NEXT.kz. Should work pretty well for him. NEXT.kz just going to have to try to find the opening. Mantis now going to clear out the Radiant Ancients for him.
Shadows take us.
Roche going to be coming up here in just about a minute. Great time for that little countdown to pop up for us. A last Moonlight Shadow comes out, though. Looking for a chance to initiate. Puck going to be forced to blink. Reese is going to turn, though. He's going for it. That'll be a dead Venomancer before the fight even starts. BKB's been popped. Sharfik going to port into the worst position imaginable. And he's going to get juiced. Big misplay from Sharfik right there. He'll be forced to buy back. He's back on the field, but still going to be a 5v4. And that will hurt some of Tinker's farm. One of the worst points to put in right there. But the fight going to continue on. A lot of damage coming out. Some red health heroes. Lich going to be in trouble. Down he goes. That one last auto attack. Wind Ranger going to finish him off. Equal in a little bit of trouble as well. He's going to get sheeped. I think he may fall. Yep, down he goes.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The power of the Tinker, but all that time, Mantis just in the top, pressuring that top tier 3 tower. Shackle will latch. Mantis possibly in a bit of trouble here. Sheepstick going to come out from Sharfik. He's low mana. Mantis nowhere to go. Will he be able to time-lapse out? That's that Perma Sheepstick I was talking about. BKB time-lapse, though, will buy him a little bit of breathing room. And he does head for the hills. Nature's Prophet. Need to be a little bit careful, buddy. You can't go toe-to-toe with this Weaver. Weaver not going to be able to hang around and finish him off, but Tomash very brave right there. So still not a bad fight for NEXT.kz, but Tinker showing us, well, why it's so hard to push into these tier 3s, and this game could easily go on for another 20 minutes. 20,000 gold lead, 30,000 experience lead. NEXT.kz still able to break the base easily. But Roshan could be the deciding factor. He is going to respawn. They're going to go straight for it. No way Aspera can contest. Not that they have vision anyhow. They've got no map control right now. Got some wards down here. Sort of an interesting ward spot right here, though it is about to expire, so it is 7 minutes old. They are finally going to be able to get some wards outside of their base, clear out their jungle a bit so they'll at least know where NEXT.kz are as they approach the base, but these big items are out. 3 Hearts of Tarask now. Puck with the sheep. 2 force stabs, the mech. NEXT.kz pretty much have all the tools that they need. They are going to go ahead and put the Aegis on the puck.
Silence.
Marlini is online. And I was right. Exactly what I was talking about. We were planning on starting at 11. That was the game plan last night when we logged off. When I last checked Skype before I got off the PC yesterday. But he is here. He'll be here for the rest of the cast. Some initiation here, though. Equal going to take a bit of damage to start things off. Puck going to blink on top of him. The problem for Aspera, though, is this split push is going to be hard for him to defend. NEXT.kz have the absolute right idea here. Weaver with that Desolator are going to be able to chew through these towers. As will the Alchemist. They just have to manage this properly, not concede too many deaths. You see Aspera just maintaining their 5-man unit. Sharfik trying his best to keep these machines up, but they're going to get slowly whittled down here. This slow siege from NEXT.kz going to prove potent, I believe. No glyph available for Aspera anytime soon here. And that will make this a little bit more difficult for him. Reeves going to get crowd controlled here. Venomancer's still going to get melted. They've got 2 carries they need to deal with. Not enough sheep sticks. Nature's Prophet taking a lot of damage here. And it looks like he is going to fall. Down he goes. That's going to be a 2-0. Buyback right away from the Nature's Prophet. Going to be a 5-4 on the field. Not going to be quite nil, though. Lich is dead. Puck going to come back. Compliments of the Aegis. That is going to be the end of the top tier 3 tower. Top lane of Rack's going to explode here. And Nature's Prophet going to be in big trouble. There's the sheep stick. Alright, they have their sights set on the Tinker, though. Reeves going to get sheep. Not going to be able to pursue. Oh, Yule's going to come out onto the Mirana. Ink Visitor, he's going to fall. Down goes the Mirana as well. We may be moments from a GG here, folks. Aspera again, maybe it'll turtle this up a little bit longer. But Mask of Madness coming out on the puck. What a fucker, going to grab a little bit of a troll item there. Should be GG though. Mid lane's going to fall. Windrunner Mirana without buyback. Nowhere to go. That's the mid lane of Rax. They're just going to rotate to the bottom. They're going to super creep here. Or mega creep, rather. Puck almost in trouble. We'll be able to phase shift, blink backwards. Does survive to tell the tale. And there it is, the GG from Sharfik. So again, not a bad game here. Aspera played pretty well, especially considering they have 3 stand-ins. But they just gave NEXT.kz the space that they needed. Huge carry advantage. And just didn't put the pressure on they needed in that mid-game. They've got 3 Necro Books, but they never really used them to much avail. Pardon me, they've got 2 Necro Books. Menno never finished his. He's got that Staff of Wizardry. But yep, they're the Mega Creeps. So the GG was called, still not going to tap out quite yet.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
There it is.
Victory.
So that's the game, guys. That was game 1. Remember, I am Zyori. Thank you for joining me for the first match of the day. Solo casting away. Merlini going to be joining me for the duration, the remaining duration of this cast. See, respect to Aspera. Remember, Aspera did opt to replay that. They could have taken a free win. They opted for the replay after taking out NEXT.kz when they had lag issues. And then they did take the loss. A lot of respect. A lot of great manners coming out. Unfortunate they had to play with 3 stand-ins, but still, I do tip my hat to go those good manners. Again, I'm Zyori. Thank you for joining me. Plenty more Dota coming your way. Coming up next, we are going to have Na'Vi. Oh, no, pardon me. We're going to have Fnatic against 4FC. And then our third match of the day is going to be that Na'Vi versus Alliance matchup, El Clasico. So stay tuned, guys. Plenty more Dota coming your way here on Beyond the Summit.